Traffic's down, sales are down, people aren't visiting the website. How do you respond? What do you do? Where's the problem? How do you diagnose the issue to even know where to put your time and energy? Business is not all highs. Sometimes things go wrong, and we need to work out where the problem is and what we're going to do about it to get us back to the business we want. The extraordinary belongs to those that create it. Rebelling against business plans and debt, rebelling against what society expects of us to build cool businesses, make money, have fun, and do good. Let's create something extraordinary together. Welcome to the Rebel Entrepreneur. So welcome back to the Rebel Entrepreneur coaching series, and I have back with me today Adam from Craft Box Club in the UK. Welcome back, Adam.
Hello, good evening or good day or whatever time it is, wherever you are or in podcast land. I'm back again. Hello.
Yeah, because we actually have no idea when people are listening to this. So whatever time it is, we hope you're happy. Adam, it's good to have you back. Now, sort of to summarize where we've got to, over the last few episodes, we've had a little bit of a roller coaster with your business. We came out of lockdown, people started doing other stuff, sales have suffered, and we've been trying to work out what is going on. And we scheduled this episode to be digging into the numbers. And I actually sent you a message halfway through between the last episode and this episode saying, give me some stats, send me some stuff. I have to compliment you as we go into this. Your emails are excellent, by the way. You send me stats, you send me bullet points, you send me a PowerPoint with numbers and graphs. So this is amazing. Give me data and then we can make actual informed choices, which I love. And you sent me a whole list of the key points that you got from looking at that traffic. And I think this is really interesting to go through. For the audience listening to this, actually really important for you to every now and again look at the numbers. How's your website doing? What's the traffic like? How is your social media doing? Where's the traffic coming from? Are people buying? Are they still converting? Most people only do this when it's an emergency and sales aren't happening, rather than proactively doing it each month or each 2 months or whatever it is. But it is a very important thing to look at. So Adam, you had a list of key points. What did you learn from looking through those traffic stats? What were the key things that struck you?
So I think the key thing the first thing I guess that's jumped out is that the amount of traffic has decreased since Christmas, which is something that you'd kind of expect, I guess.
Well, in a way you'd expect it to decrease because people buy over Christmas. But like if you look at the chart, it's been more or less a straight line down ever since January, which we're 9 months into the year. I would be saying something's changed, something's gone wrong. This is not good. This is not just a trend. We're at probably 20% of the traffic we had last January, which is a significant reduction. And no wonder we've not got the sales coming through at the levels you want, because people just aren't coming to the website.
Yeah. Which is quite it's quite scary, quite painful, especially after having worked on the website and taken loads of advice on it from various people, and to try and to change things positively. People aren't coming quite as much.
So what else did you learn through this process? What did you spot during the numbers? Because visitors is just one stat. It's the headline stat, like how many people turned up, but it's not the stat.
So it was quite interesting to see where people were coming from. The main place it really is well, it's Google, and then it's this direct thing. I've seen that somewhere else. There's a lot of direct. I'm never quite sure what that really means. It seems an awful lot of people just for it to be me having a look at it. Uh,
It's not
but
you.
yeah, anyway, it's not me.
No. Direct could be someone's typed your domain name directly into the search bar. So they've not come from Google or another website that way. They've just typed it in. So it might be your own marketing, it might be people that know you already. It might
Hmm.
also be they're coming to you direct from a link you put in an email. So if you've started to send out your regular emails through your mail provider, are you using MailChimp, was it, or was it someone else?
I started with MailChimp and then it wasn't doing all of the things that I wanted to do because I send out uh, lots of automations and things with the subscriptions. So I've swapped it all. So I'm doing it through my website provider, which is Squarespace.
Okay, so we're sending them out through Squarespace, which actually you do have Squarespace under your top sources for visits as your fourth one down.
Yeah, I mean, so is that me? Possibly.
Unclear. We'd have to dig into it a
Yeah.
little bit more. And this analytics piece, maybe you can actually message Squarespace and say, okay, so I understand where Google is, I understand Facebook. Why are you sending me 615 traffic visits year to date? Like, is that me looking at it through this? Is that from the
Mm,
email? What's direct made up of? And I'd actually push into them to find out a little bit
yeah.
more, because that doesn't really help us.
Because they say whenever you're signed in, it's not meant to count you looking at the website. So it's
Yes,
very strange. This is Squarespace. It's
but it
very odd.
might be
So
the
yeah.
emails that you're sending out. So maybe they're saying that because it came
Oh,
through
I
an email, or
see.
maybe the
Yeah.
email is the direct. I don't know. We need to ask that question, actually dig in to be able to find it out. Um, but we know it's Google and Facebook, your primary sources of traffic, other than the mythical direct, which makes up for about the same as both of them.
Hmm. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, but
So,
that's it's valuable to know Facebook and Google, isn't it?
so traffic is down, and we know sales are down. So, where are people dropping off? Are we still getting the same number of people looking at the products, opening up a cart? How far through that checkout process do they get before they disappear?
So they in the analytics they show you a like a purchase funnel. So the the sort of what was it in 2020? 13% of the people coming to the website had a look at a product.
Okay.
2021, so this year it's 16%, so it's up a little bit. People are actually interacting, but then fewer people are starting a checkout, and even fewer people are purchasing than last year. So people are sort of engaging a tiny bit more, and then not bothering once they've had a look at the products.
Well, that's quite
Which again is
interesting.
frustrating because as far as I'm seeing and the actual feedback that I'm getting when people get the products, I feel like I've improved things. So that's interesting.
So you might well have improved the product, but that doesn't mean that it's coming through on the website in the same way. So
Yeah.
what we've got is from the top headline visits, 16% of those go and look at a product. So we've got a whole bunch of people who come to the website. 16% of those will actually look at a product page. And then from that 16%, we have 20% of those people actually start checking out. So they choose one of the products, they have a look at it, they kind of stick it in their cart or whatever it is, and they start to check out. But only 50% of people actually make it through the checkout process. So we're losing
Yes.
half those
Mm.
people
Yeah,
between
which is
starting
loads.
the checkout and
Yeah.
purchase, which is
Yeah.
a
So I
lot.
think so. Yeah, and I'm guessing. So I've sent you emails about trying to reduce, ideas for how to reduce the number of clicks to get to the checkout and stuff like that. But if I'm going to stay with Squarespace, the checkout is it just is what it is.
Yes.
It's just like a standard form. So if people are starting that and then giving up, there's unless I'm completely moved to some other system, there's yeah, there's not a whole lot. It just feels like people aren't as people aren't as motivated to get through it, I guess.
Well, I don't think it's the form. Like, you have to fill out a form to buy anything. So I wouldn't say it would be filling out the form. Like, we are well trained now as 21st century people to put in your name, email address. Your browser even auto fills it for you. Like, every time I'm buying something, it suggests Alan Donegan, sits in my address, fills out all the details. My credit card is even saved into the browser. Like, I probably shouldn't tell anyone that. Forget I ever said that, anyone. But it is, and it auto fills out. And it's unbelievable, like, how easy it is to fill out those forms nowadays with autofill. So it shouldn't be the form that's causing the problem. Something else is going on. We've got the headline, we're not getting enough traffic. And then we've got the second part, it's not flowing through enough. And I think if we just managed to fix the traffic and quadruple the traffic, your orders would quadruple. So you've got that headline bit, and then you've got, if we can improve that conversion on the way down, it would dramatically improve the sales as well. Those seem to be the main things. Is that where your head's got to? Where are you at? How are you feeling about this?
So they're the sort of different levers to pull, I guess. My gut feel, and possibly because this is just easier, but we do like easy. If it's going to give us
sometimes
results, if it works, we like easy. So I guess I'm focusing more on the conversion bit because I feel like with Google, I'm doing sort of long-term things to help with SEO and stuff like that. But I feel less in control of the traffic to the website lever. But I'm a bit, possibly more in control of things that I can do to help the conversion. And I can see having another look. When you go away from the website and come back to it, you always spot things that it seems confusing where it didn't before. And I can see you basically have to click "I want to buy this" about 5 times at the moment, which seems a bit silly. So I've been coming up with ways to get to the buy button much quicker and easier. I wonder as well if people are bailing at the checkout, whether things like setting up a gift subscription is simple enough, because at the moment people have to put in the person they're sending it to in the shipping address, and I don't think that's it's not, there's nowhere that says this is the person that you're giving the gift to as address. So it's if half the customers are trying to give gifts and they can't really work out how to do it, then that might be where we're losing people. So that's where I'm focusing a lot of energy at the moment, rather than getting the traffic coming in the short term anyway.
Well, I think we've got the two elements, and I do think it is worth doing a little bit of both. And you're right, if we can improve conversion rates with the current traffic, it will definitely help. And you are doing work to increase the traffic. Like, you've been doing the PR work, we've been doing outreach, you've been in the magazines. You've actually made a huge amount of progress with that stuff. But traffic is still going down, Adam. Traffic is still going down. If you look at that graph, it's just going down and down and down and down. And I'm saying that for a reason. If you're looking at that, what does it make you feel?
Not good. It just feels like it's just it basically people are just disappearing.
And you're saying to me you have no control over that?
Well, I feel out of control about it.
Interesting. You
Um,
feel out of control about it.
yeah, I mean, so I've, I feel like basically having done a lot of work on things like SEO, and sending and getting people to come to it and shouting about the website and everything. Even having done all of that, the numbers are still going down. So it just, if I feel a bit helpless about it.
Which is understandable. We've done a lot of work. It's still heading in the wrong direction. Like, what do I have to do to get this to pick back up? What do I have to do? Um, and I'm a little bit worried. You've gone, well, I can't do anything about that. I'm just going to focus on conversion.
Yeah, so I guess I feel like I've been doing lots of long term stuff to drive traffic, like doing the PR, and but then having looked at these figures, the conversion things, like the latest thing this week, that's like a new thing that I feel like I've got a bit of control over. So that's where I've been putting my energy for like the last couple of days. Um, but yeah, it would be. I mean, clearly, at least at the moment, all of the work on doing SEO and PR isn't really having an impact on on getting traffic. So if we, yeah, so some some ideas on the traffic would be great.
So we definitely, when we're doing business, it's quite easy to think in binary terms. And what I mean by that is one or zero, as
Mm.
in, I shouldn't do long term SEO because that's just not having any effect. I should do conversion rate because that's within my control. And in business and in life, nothing is ever binary. Like it's just not. There's always ways to do it in different ways and different amounts. So, what we don't want to do is give up on any increasing traffic stuff and just focus on conversion. We want to do a little bit of both. And the thought that
Yeah,
came
for
to
sure.
mind actually here was we have been doing the PR, the promotion, and the sort of broadcast end of stuff. And I don't know if you remember the season with Jamie, the coaching series with Jamie the artist. When she was launching her Kickstarter, we spoke a lot about sending individual messages, which we've chatted about too, which you've done through email and different things. How much of the direct marketing have you been doing? Because there's sort of two types, there's the passive marketing and the active marketing. Passive marketing is I put a PR piece out in the news and I'm waiting for them to come back to me. And
Mm.
the active or the direct marketing is like I've spoken to this person to ask them, are you going to buy for Christmas? Or do you want one for your niece for Christmas? Or whatever it is. Like you've actively marketed to an individual, to a group, to a set. Like you've put it out there and directly, actively marketed. What percentage of your time recently do you think has been spent on passive versus active?
So I think recently it's been more passive because of the focus on getting the big sort of PR stuff, which I've never really looked at before. It's just sort of come naturally if it's come at all.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so that I've dialed down on the active, because things always seem to be a bit hectic. I actually I don't I'm not very good at monitoring how much time I spend on these things, or I probably have no idea how many people I've messaged, because I sort of do it if I'm sitting on the train, and I've got my phone. I'll go through Instagram and I'll talk to people who have liked things and stuff like that. Um, I say what generally seems to happen now compared to last year is the people that I'm talking to seem to be like a different type of people. Last year there were lots of people kind of sitting around wanting things to do, that were following the account and interested in getting involved. Now it seems like people who are quite crafty already, following me for ideas and inspiration, less than actually to buy. So I'll go and have the same conversations as last year, and they'll end up with, "Oh yeah, it's really cool," and yeah, I've already got a load of craft stuff. Thanks very much. So that, and the fact that I've been focusing on the long term stuff has just made me sort of do a bit less of it.
Okay.
And I do feel like it might be time to really try again. So kind of start again on trying to find the type of the right type of customer, like Jamie was doing by finding you know working out what people um, were following that might like her stuff. I feel like I kind of need to go back to that again and try and find the right people. That makes sense.
It makes complete sense, and that's actually one of the things that Simon, my business partner Simon, has is whenever he is talking to an entrepreneur, talking to someone with a business, he has this diagnostic thing of let's just start from the beginning. Who is your customer? Who are you
Yeah,
targeting? And then how are you reaching them? And then if that message is hitting, are they coming to the website? Are they visiting? Are they buying? That sort of comes down the list. Um, so let's start right from the beginning. And I think everyone listening to this is a good exercise. If you ever get stuck with your sales, is just to start at the top and think it through. So let's go right from the top. Adam, from the top, who's your customer?
I'm so glad we're doing this. Right, because it's definitely need to do it. So I um it's women. I'm writing this down as I'm saying it to you. 30 to 50.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's this really hard to define thing, which is people who are interested in being creative, but they're not being creative. they're not
Mm.
doing a lot. The people who want to craft have got like a thirst for creativity, which they're finding it quite hard to explore. Um, and yeah, so they might be doing some other form of creativity, but they want to get into crafts or do something a bit more arty. So they might be into music and they want to get into crafts. But it's if I went, sorry, I'm skipping ahead. So yeah, people who who want to be creative, but they're not really being at the moment.
Okay. That's difficult to find a not. Like in marketing, it's
Yeah,
very difficult to find it is not these people. But that still leaves you with like 6 billion other people to
yeah.
market to, which doesn't really bring it down. So people who want to be creative but aren't yet. Then my head goes, how are we going to find those people? Like maybe there's different things. So we've got women. That's the majority of your audience currently.
Yeah.
30 to 50 who want to be creative but aren't really yet.
Yes. Or they are being creative, but they want to discover new crafts.
Okay. So they might be into music, they might already be creative, but they want to get into crafts.
Yeah.
So they have
And
an
then to
interest
to
in
go,
crafts.
yeah, an interesting crafts. I'd say like do you know the shop Hobbycraft?
Yes. I drove
So
past
this
one
it's
in
the sort
America.
of they're in America as well. Oh, there you
They
go.
are.
So I'd sort of characterize it as the sorts of people who go into hobbycraft. So, and this, because this was me before I started this, I'd go in, I'd go, oh, look at all of the stuff that's there. Oh, okay, I might go and play with this. So,
Mm.
and, um, people who just want to explore the space, not people who are, there's loads of people who are super into knitting or crochet or oil painting or something like that. That's not the people that are that would like Craft Box Hub. It's people who are just sort of dabbling and exploring.
Yeah, who want to get into it, but maybe a bit nervous. They need some guidance, some
Yeah,
help.
yeah, that's it.
Mm.
And then sort of layering on top of that, there's the eco-friendly kind of angle. So that's it's people who are frustrated that when they get to finding craft kits to explore a different craft, then it's low quality and full of plastic, and this is meant to be
Okay,
the antidote to that.
I love it. So this is giving me a bit more of an idea now because I had an idea as soon as you said hobbycraft. I was like, "Oh, hobbycraft customers! I could find them." And did you know that every hobbycraft store in the UK has its own Twitter account?
Uh, no, I did. I think I've at one point I might have found the Reading one. And way back when I was doing workshops, I bumped into the guy who was doing the Hobbycraft Reading marketing,
Ah,
which is good. And I've lost touch with him, which is really frustrating. But yeah, anyway, they're trying to do all sorts of different things. So there's the Hobbycraft people. Yeah. Anyway,
so I went
you
onto Twitter.
stop babbling. Yeah,
Oh, are you okay?
yeah. I was babbling. That was. I'm going to stop babbling.
It happens to the best of us. I do it regularly. So I went onto Twitter and I typed in hobbycraft, and up popped an entire list of hobbycraft shops. And the formula is hobbycraft underscore and then like a 3 letter for the name. So hobbycraft Chester is hobbycraft underscore CTR. They have 1,368 followers in Cheshire. Is that a list of your customers?
Yeah, I like that. That's lovely. That isn't it?
There's a
Yes,
whole
yes
bunch
is
of
the
people
answer.
there. Yes, yes is the
Yeah.
answer. Well, we can at least have a look at them and go, are these the right people? Are they not? Oh, going down the list, I've just like found Faye, who is the Sustainable City Project Officer at Chester Zoo, passionate about protecting the natural world, and she follows hobbycraft. Like she feels like
Cool.
she's into sustainability and she follows hobbycraft. Like she feels like she'd be your customer.
Yeah. I'll send her a message.
And I feel like, yeah, maybe we've got away from who's your actual customer and how do we get hold of them and let's start marketing. Maybe we've got away from the basics of this. And now I've jumped ahead a bit, Adam, because I've got excited by, oh, you've told me they're hobbycraft customers. Well, I can find them. And I think sometimes this is the way you do marketing is like, who am I targeting? Is there an easy way to find that group of people? We found an easy way to find that group of people that we can
Mm.
message.
Yes. Yeah. That's really cool. I've definitely got that as a note. Um, I've just got a thought about if taking another step back. I've got two different types. I've got two different types of customers.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the people who want to buy it for themselves, and then I've got people
Yes.
who want to buy it as a gift. And I don't think I've ever really at all thought about targeting people who would buy it as a gift. I think I've always targeted the people that might want it, but I think the
Yeah,
people who might buy it as a gift might be completely different.
they will be. Especially because it's Christmas coming up. So that's going to be your
Yeah.
biggest market, probably at Christmas, is other people buying it and wondering what to buy. So, do you have a sense from last year's sales of the people who bought gift subscriptions? What type of people were they? Was there anything that defined them? Age, location, style, demographic?
Um, so yeah, it's quite spread across the UK in terms of where people are. Which I was quite surprised by. I thought it might be London centric or something, but it's quite spread. People buy for there's in that group. Then there's more men buying
Yes.
it for partners a lot of the time, and then there's mums buying it for daughters and daughters buying it for mums.
Hmm.
Um, there's a lot of that. Uh, yeah. Also, I guess a similar age range. Um, but yeah, that's more men, and I think people are. It, I think the mindset there is, oh, I want a creative gift because the person I'm buying for is creative. So it's a slightly different spin, if you see what I'm talking about. So it's, it might be for people that are already crafting, and their partner goes, "Oh, it's a crafting gift. They would like it." No,
Yes. Yeah, which is the kind of thing I would absolutely do. Is like,
yeah,
oh, my wife is into this, she'll enjoy that, or
Hmm.
my brother is into this, he will enjoy that, and I'll
yeah,
buy that thing, which is a completely different group of people.
Hmm.
Then the question comes, how do we find them? How do we find the people
yes.
who are searching for those gifts?
I'm also
Ha-
thinking it's an eco-friendly gift that isn't like soap or or a toothbrush or something. It's like a different, interesting, eco-friendly gift as well. I've thought of that. There's like an so is another way of thinking about customer as well, based on the magazines that I've been in recently. So I'm in the craft magazines, but I'm also in the lifestyle ones.
yeah.
So there's the people who want a nice looking house and want something pretty in the house.
Yes.
So and they don't necessarily even have to work to be that interested in the creating. They just want something. They will go through the process of making it, but they're more interested in having a beautiful thing that's different. It's a slightly different sort of customer, I don't. It's quite hard to pick those people out of my customers by having that conversation. But it's just been interesting to see that the lifestyle magazines are interested as much as the craft magazines.
Because of it's that nice thing that goes in the house, hangs on the wall, goes in the bathroom. Like there's this thing that's created that looks good.
Yeah, yeah,
So, just to pause for 1 second and speak directly to the audience that are listening to this, Adam, I hope you can see through this process what we've started to do is reconnect with who are we actually targeting, which brings loads of new ideas and new energy about, oh, I could do this and reach out to them there. I could find them here. I could find them there. So, if you ever get stuck with marketing, go back as much as you can to who is your customer? Who do you actually want to reach? Who could it be? Where could you find them? Where are they? And that will give you a renewed sense of energy into who we are speaking to. And at the moment, Adam and I have got two main groups. We've got the people who are buying it for themselves, and we've got the people who buy it for other people as gifts. We've come up with a very easy way to find people who buy it for themselves, followers of the Hobby Lobby. Did I say that
Hobbycraft.
wrong? Thank you very much. Followers of the Hobby
I
Craft.
like Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby. Maybe we should create a Hobby Lobby and bring people in.
Sounds like a political movement.
Yes,
More hobbies.
lobbying, more hobbies. We want
Hobbies for
more
the
fun.
people. Yeah.
And the second group is the people who are buying them as gifts. How are we going to find those people? Because I'm like, have you had any ideas as we've spoken? Because this is the challenge. How do we find the people who are buying the gifts for their partners? Because I don't know. Is there a group on Facebook for like partners who are left out by crafting partners?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not. That's complete a rubbish idea, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I feel like a crafting, like a craft widow, or something like that is a thing.
It's a real thing, yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be a real thing. So there's Facebook groups for anything. But there's, that especially for Christmas, there are gift markets on Facebook. Um, I guess, I mean, it's been strange. Some customers have come from like the local brewery because that's guys that want to support local businesses and are into buying interesting different things, um, and they're not sure what to get their partners. It's
Yes.
been that sort of thing. But I feel like that could be like a low percentage thing.
So the second question we always ask ourselves after who is your customer is let's come up with where are they? Where can we find them? Where do they hang out? If they hang out in breweries and they don't know what to buy their crafting partners, then that's a great place to go. We should do more brewery promotions. And maybe they get a Christmas package where they get a craft beer and their partner gets a craft box. Um, Maybe you can tie those things together. Crafting for both partners, beer for one, crafting for the other. Who knows what it is? But if we need to like make a list of where those customers might show up, and one is followers of Hobby Lobby. I keep calling them Hobby Lobby, Hobby Craft.
It's stuck in the brain now. Yeah.
I know it is, yeah. Where do they hang out? Two is at the breweries. And I'm wondering if there's something that we can do to get our stuff in front of them. Three is the Facebook. You said there was like a marketplace gift thing going on at Christmas.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different Facebook Christmas markets, virtual Christmas markets.
Which will be an interesting place to try going for those things. And then
and then there's real in real life markets,
Yeah, IRL, in real life, actual markets where people go round, which are going to open hopefully this year again, so that we can get out there. But this is the process of how can we get your product back in front of the right people and get people to see your product and visit your website. And I think we need to be doing both in comparison, Adam, because if we are just looking at conversion, we're not fixing one of the main elements, which is the decrease in traffic. Do you have a sense as to why the traffic has decreased?
I think it is. I mean, the main amount of traffic has usually come from Google the whole time, and it's basically I've been featured for fewer on the first page for fewer keywords. So I'm up there for craft subscription and things like that, and I'm on some best craft subscription articles, so people find me through that. But the more niche search terms, I'm not coming up for, whereas I was coming up for some of those last year.
That's interesting. So what do you think, where's that change come from? Have you removed those terms from your website? Has Google just taken you down? What do you think's changed?
I don't know. So that it doesn't feel like anything specific that I've done. But it's been just like a slow trickling away of the pages that I've been appearing on, and I think it's sort of like a Google thing that for a new page they feature you a bit higher, and then they kind of work out where people want to see you, and then if you don't get the traffic for certain keywords, you just drop down the list. So I think I've had a little bit of artificial inflation to start with. And then I've dropped down the list a little bit.
Interesting. So what I think we should do there is come up with a plan. Maybe we should reach out to Henry from Rebel Business School and get him to have a look at your website, get him to try and find out what's going on, and let's look at that, because this is not good. This was a huge source of your traffic, is those long tail keywords, and we've dropped off. There's got to be a reason or a way we can overcome this. And my mum always used to do this to me, which I hated at the time. She would go, okay, you've got a problem. Who do we speak to? And I was always nervous and embarrassed and didn't want to speak to any of them. Stop making me speak to strangers. Can't I just struggle on my own? But it's actually really useful because you never know. I don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. We never know. So I would say Henry was a good place to start, who's been on the podcast a few times. Do you know anyone else that does this sort of thing that could have a look at us?
So over, since basically over the summer, I've had various people from various Facebook groups who do this sort of thing, have a look at the website, and I've made kind of all of the changes that they've told me about. Most of it has been to do with the sort of the conversion rate and making it a better customer experience and helping people understand the product. And I feel like that's not really ended up in the right place.
No, it
I've not
seems
had
to have
so
done the
much advice
opposite.
on SEO. Yeah, I've not had as much advice on SEO, but people tend to sort of have a look at it and go, "Hey, you're ranking on the top page for a couple of keywords that you want to be. That's awesome." Is the feel? Um, I guess just fewer people are searching for those keywords at the moment as well. They're just there's fewer people on Google looking for this sort of thing. Um,
So have you looked
so
at the
yeah,
stats
that
and you
doesn't
actually know
help.
that? Have you looked at the traffic
Yeah,
and seen there's a reduction in traffic?
yes, and it's a thing that it's not super clear every year, but there's usually a peak around November to February every year, and there was a much bigger amount of traffic looking for those keywords last year. If you have a look on Google Trends.
So we've looked on Google Trends. We can see that in general. So has the traffic in general quartered? Like, is it you or is it the market? I guess is the question I'm asking. Not you personally, because that sounds bad, but your website. You know what I mean, Adam. I love you. You are
Yeah.
great.
um, I don't know. I'm not sure about the specifics. But I could get it up. It's good Google Trends. It's fun.
It is great. So if you're listening to this right now, the website Adam is going to is called Google Trends, and it will show you the trends in traffic for certain keywords and where people are searching. So you can set the location. If your business in the UK or the USA, you can set that and you can see what the traffic volumes are for different keywords. What's the keyword we're going for at the top?
I'm going for craft subscriptions.
And you've gone for the
I'll
United
just go
Kingdom.
past 5 years, United Kingdom. So, uh, yeah, if you look at that, it's quite sort of spiky. But yeah, if you look at November 2020, there's lot, and December there's lots of spikes, and if you go to um, November 2019, there's a spike, and then 2018 there's November and October there's spikes. But yeah, if you look at 2020, there's lots of spikes, and then
Mm.
from like April, there's like nothing, and then a little spike in July, and then nothing again. Um, yeah, so it's a little
Yes,
bit more
interesting.
sparse. Mm.
Yes. And they do have a related queries, Craft Magazine subscriptions and Craft Magazine, which I'm assuming there's lots of people searching for those, but Craft subscriptions may not be for the boxes.
Yeah, so I rank for Craft Box subscriptions as well, especially because it's Craft Box Club, but
Craft
you
Box
can't
Club.
see. They don't have the data on that because it's a bit too specific.
Oh, it's popped up for me, Craft Box
Has
subscription.
it?
Yeah.
Ooh, as in on Google Trends.
Yeah. And it's showing actually more traffic than Craft subscription.
Oh, you did a compare, did you? Or
I did
maybe that
compare, just
works if you
typed it in
compare it.
compare.
Yeah, all right, let's do that. It didn't come up as a standalone thing. Craft subscription.
And then there's a related Craft subscription box UK, which is another one. Yeah, which the biggest one is Craft Box subscription.
So I've got Craft subscription. Yeah, Craft subscription rather than Craft subscriptions works better, doesn't it? So Craft Box subscription, it says that it's lower than Craft subscription for me. But yeah, loads last year, especially after as soon as the COVID hit, and then yeah, less this year, isn't it?
Yes.
But it's probably comparable to the last few years at the moment.
Yes.
And there was a craft industry a few years before COVID.
There
So
was. It
although it's
existed.
depressing
It was
compared to last
happening.
year, people were buying crafts before, and they will buy them again. So
They
I've just got to
will.
find them. I've got to get the people who are still looking for it.
So I think on the SEO side of things, it doesn't, to me, under Google Trends, like it looks as though there has been a reduction of traffic since COVID. However, that doesn't mean it's not going to grow in the next couple of months for Christmas. It doesn't mean there aren't still people searching for that stuff right now. It does seem to be November every year, it goes crazy, goes through the roof.
Mm,
And that's then going to be the time that we look at November, January, December. They seem to be the biggest periods altogether. And if you looked at craft subscriptions, all three have a high January 2021, which you would expect because we were on extreme lockdown in the UK. Then it calmed
yeah.
down afterwards. We're hoping it'll go back up at Christmas. And it is a cold weather thing to do, which I do feel sometimes we kind of like we're focused on this stuff. We're going up and down in the dips and the trends, but there's nothing we can do about that. We can work on our SEO, which will do that with Henry. And then we need to do what's within our control as much as we can, which is the direct marketing to the customers. It's the marketing to the existing customers you've got. It's selling the Christmas stuff to the customers you've had who have left, who might want to come back for this Christmas, for giving more gifts, for all of those different things. We need to focus on much as we can on what is within our control. So I think my homework from this, Adam, is I will organize a time with Henry to have a look at your website and the search engine optimization and see if we can figure out this Google stuff. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, stay tuned for that one, which will help us all with the SEO and working on the website. And then what we need to do is focus on the direct marketing to the customers, because I think you've kind of focused on conversion. I think it's great. Like, take the ideas you've got from conversion, let's clean it up, let's try and improve the conversion, but we mustn't neglect the top of the funnel and getting people to the website. Like, if we just sit there and go, I hope Google brings me traffic, I hope that people turn up at my website, hope is not a good business strategy. There is no
No,
hope, Adam. There is no
there's
hope.
no hope.
We need to make it happen ourselves. Um, and for those of you listening, this is exactly what you need to do: is who is the customer? Where do they hang out? How can I reach them? Let's send them messages. So based on this, Adam, what do you think you're going to do next for your business? Because we're now 22nd of September. Christmas is slowly starting to ramp up. What's the plan next?
So on the conversion stuff, I'm going to do that tomorrow, and then that'll sort of the work on that will be done. I might test the two websites a little bit to see if I
Definitely.
can, to see if I can notice any differences in the data. Um, yeah, it's tricky though because when you're getting a couple of sales a week, it's quite hard to do that testing because you don't get that much data through. If I was getting 100 or something, then that would help. When you're working on conversions, traffic, you can do it because I'm getting 1,000 or something. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can play with that and then sort of move on. Direct marketing, very important. I'm going to do. I'm overdue to re-engage with the customers that are still around and enjoying it, and I thought I would approach them. So there's a lot of people who sign up month to month, and I
Yes.
was going to see if I could get them to commit for longer to save the money and know that I've got some more customers into next year. If I can get people to sign up to an annual membership rather than them paying every month, then that would provide me a bit of security and help them. We've got some ideas on there. Well, I want to sort of spend a bit more time working out who the customer is and kind of drawing up different profiles, and then flowing from there how I can find them. And I like going to Hobbycraft, Twitter, and things like that. Yeah, and having chats with people.
Yes, let's go back to actually speaking to people, connecting with them, and bringing them to the website. I'd love you to do that test with Hobbycrafts followers. Send them some messages, engage with them. Maybe you'll find them on Hobbycrafts Instagram as well. But if you can find those people, message them and engage them, and just see if we can increase the sales with our direct energy. It's still important to do the passive stuff, but there has to be a mix of that passive marketing and the direct marketing. We can't just wait for people to come to us. I think that's the key message for all of us is don't wait for things to happen. You have to actively market, sell, get on the phone, and make those things happen. So overall, we've had a few chats recently about pessimist Adam or positive Adam. How are you feeling about Christmas given where we are now at the 22nd of September 2021?
Well, the way I'm feeling is I feel like pessimist Adam is not helpful at all. So I'm just ignoring pessimist Adam and just being optimistic Adam. I've done all of the stuff like order stock, which is the thing I was holding back on.
Yes.
Which pessimist Adam might have been helpful for, depending on how it goes. But given that I've ordered the stock for the next few months and I've planned out what I'm going to do and that sort of thing, I just need to go and tell everyone about this and be proud of it, I think.
And that's exactly it. Once you've made the commitment, we just have to 100% positively push out there into the world and tell the world. How many kits did you end up ordering for Christmas, Adam?
Well, how many stars? I got to almost 500. I think I bought all of the stars that I could buy. All of the stars that they had made up until then. And then I've got a plan to convert the one of the summer kits into like a Christmas house kit.
Cool.
So I've got if I need to, I can easily fall back on 100 extra kits from doing that.
Perfect. So we've kind of got a plan for about
So
600 if we can make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is exciting. Then let's try and sell out. Let's just positively go out into the world, market as much as we can, and tell everyone. And that's what we have to do. And sometimes in business, you can analyze and analyze and analyze without taking action. And I think we've got to stop a certain amount of the analysis and take as much action as we can, as quickly as we can, speak to specific customers. It's fun to talk about the numbers. It's fun to look at the numbers, but at some stage we have to get away from the numbers and into the trenches with the customers.
Yes, for sure. I would. Oh yeah, there's another thing. There's another way I can get in touch with customers. Because I've just run an Instagram competition, and over 100 people have entered. So I was going to go back to them, and and get them involved. If the ones that haven't won. Yeah, so I was going to go and approach them directly because they want the thing for free, but then at least they do want the thing. So that's good. So I'm going to do that as well. But so the competition ends in a few days, so I'll go back to people then and talk to those people.
Yeah, there could be we're really sorry you didn't win this time. Jane from Doncaster won, but we will give you a 5% voucher for the Christmas box or whatever it is, some kind of incentive.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the plan. Go and chat to those people.
I love that. I love that. So it's been a busy episode. For those of you listening, I think what I'd love you to take away from this episode is you have different levers you can pull in your business. You can pull the lever of getting more traffic to your website by direct marketing. You can pull the lever of getting more traffic to your website by indirect marketing, such as getting yourself in magazines, the PR stuff, getting yourself out there on Google, SEO. Then the people who've already visited your website, you can pull the lever and work on the conversion rate. So I've got so many people visiting. Can I convert them to customers? Can I get more of them to buy from me? And it's not binary. You don't have to do just one or the other. We need to do a little bit of each. And we all get into a space where we get into a safe space of, I want to focus on this one because I know I can do something about it. And we do that to the exclusion of the others. So if you're working on your business, make sure you are working on filling the funnel from the top. You are working on doing the long-term stuff of the SEO and the PR, and you're working on the conversion rate going down, and just do a little bit each day to push that business on and keep marketing. And it's unbelievable where you can get to. Please do check out Craftbox Club UK and Adam's products. He's got some fantastic products on his website. They are awesome. And go out there, take the ideas we've gone through this website and go about building your business. Good luck, and thank you for listening to The Rebel Entrepreneur. You can have any life you want to. Choose to build something cool. Choose to take action. Choose to work to make your dreams become reality. Stand out. Be different. Be yourself. Be a rebel entrepreneur.